When thinking of the most famous legend of England, it must be King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. The story of King Arthur, king of the Kingdom of Camelot, the leader of the Britons who protected the land from the invasion of the Saxons. For thousands of years before Christ, the area where the British Isles are located was home to a group of people called the Celts. These Celts originated in Central Europe before migrating to the British Isles, including the land that is now France. The Celts in England were called Britons, Britain, which is the origin of the word Britain and later Britain, while the Celts in France were called Gauls. In the 1st century, the Roman Empire occupied England, as did the Gauls who were defeated by the Romans, causing the Britons to be ruled by the Romans before gradually adopting Roman culture. At the same time, there were other Celtic groups in the British Isles that were not ruled by the Romans, such as the Gaels and Picts, who were the ancestors of the Irish and Scots. Time passed until the beginning of the 5th century when the Roman Empire declined, ending Roman power in England. But the Britons who were once under Roman rule did not live freely and peacefully for long. Not long after that, a new group of people invaded the British Isles. These people were the Germanic tribes, consisting of the Anglos, Jutes, and Saxons. And the period when the Britons were invaded by the Germanic tribes was the same period that the story of King Arthur took place. The next question is, when did the story of King Arthur begin to appear? In the 6th century, a Welsh monk named Gildas wrote a book called De Excidio et Conquesta Britanniae, which told the story from the Roman invasion of Britain to the war between the Britons and the Germanic tribes. In this book, Gildas wrote that in the battle at Mount Badon, where the Britons defeated the Saxons, the Britons had a leader named Ambrosius Aurelianus. Interestingly, Aurelianus was nicknamed Artos, which is the Celtic word for bear. It comes from Aurelianus wearing a cape made of bearskin. Historians believe that the word Artos may have been the origin of the word Arthur. In a Welsh poem called Y Gododdin, which was published in the 7th to 11th centuries, it is written that Gvarder is skilled in killing his enemies, but not equal to Arthur. This statement may indicate that there was a great warlord named Arthur before. Another work that mentions Arthur's name is Annals Cambria, which states that in the Battle of Mount Badon, Arthur carried the cross of Jesus Christ on his shoulders for 3 days and 3 nights, and the Britons were victorious in that battle. Also in the Historia Britanum, History of Britons, written by a Welsh monk in the 9th century, Arthur's name appears as the leader of the Britons fighting the Saxons. As for the work that is considered an important prototype of King Arthur as we know it, it comes from a work called Historia Regum Britanniae, written by the Welsh historian Geoffrey of Monmouth in the 12th century. Because no matter what the story of the Kingdom of Camelot is, the wizard Merlin, the sword Excalibur, and the Knights of the Round Table all appear in this work, but in the book, the Kingdom of Camelot is called Caerleon and the sword Excalibur is called Caliburnus. From all this, we can conclude that the story of King Arthur is a fictional story, based on a real historical event during the time when the Britons were at war with the Saxon invaders. Although it is fictional, what is true is that King Arthur became a legendary king, a source of pride for the English people to this day.